Hey guys, my name is Hannah, welcome to my channel, and I would say let's have some fun today. So guys, today is the day. In a couple of days we will reach 2022 and I looked at my eyeshadow palettes that I have purchased with my 2021 budget. And I was a little bit shocked, to be honest, that I got to this number. For some people, maybe it's not that big. For me, it's relatively much, to be honest. I didn't thought that I bought that many palettes this year. I thought it will be a little bit less than that number. And Reclaimer, one palette I already decluttered or gave away. I don't throw it away because I didn't really use it that often. It's my Anna palette from Colourpop, from the Anna and Elsa collection, and this one I already decluttered, so it won't be in my ranking because I realized that I have so many neutral palettes and I really felt the edge to tone it a little bit down, and so this one had to go. But nonetheless, I really like this palette. I know it was in a ranking from me for my fall palettes, and I really like this palette. I think it's a beautiful and good palette and a good performing palette, but yeah, it was not for me, for my collection in that time, to be completely honest with you. But this is the only one that I don't have anymore. Any other palette I bought in 2021 is waiting to be ranked, so I would say without further ado, let's get started. So I have my rankings right here. I have 16 palettes I bought this year. Like I told you, for some of you guys maybe it's not that much. For some of you guys you think, oh my god, so many palettes, how could you even? And if you are like that, then you are like me, because I think there are really many palettes right now that are sitting in front of me. So I didn't have my channel for that long, so some of the palettes maybe you don't know that well or even don't know at all because I didn't talk about them. And yeah, this is one of the palettes. It's the Nightmare Before Christmas palette from Colourpop, and this was a really fast buy for me. It was before I decided that I don't want to purchase anymore from Colourpop, so this guy came before my decision to me, and I have to say I was a little bit mad at myself that I bought this one because I knew I didn't need it, but the theming and everything like that, I'm really bad when it comes to something like that. I love the packaging, I love the theming, I love the movie, and everything drews me in at that time, so I really wanted to have it right away. And this is the inside. I'm not saying that it is a bad palette. Some of the palettes that I ranked lower are in fact really good and great quality palettes, and I will definitely disclaim it when I show you the palette if I think it's a bad palette for me personally, or if I think it's a really good palette but not for me personally, and don't worry about that. This palette in fact is not bad at all. I think it's a beautiful palette. I love the color theming. If it's reminding me of Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't know, to be honest, but that aside, I think the color story is really pretty and beautiful. The reason that this is on the last and 16th place is that I don't use it. I used it once, and since that it's sitting in my vanity and don't get the love that it deserves, to be honest. I need to force myself to maybe do some more looks with it, because all in all, I like the color story and the palette itself, but I don't really use it, and I knew it from the beginning that I won't use this one that much and bought it anyway. So this joke is on me at the end of the day, but yeah. I think I will force myself in January to use this one a little bit more and see what looks I can get out of it, because I think all in all, it's a really pretty and well thought out palette, but yeah, I didn't have to have this one at the end. So this is number 16. So at number 15 is another Colourpop palette, and it's the Cherry Crush palette. This is the one. Today I have on my eyes, I think 3 palettes, and this is one of them. I have this one spread out all over my lower lash line basically, and I think it's beautiful. It's this color in the middle right here, so it's really vibrant and beautiful and pretty, don't get me wrong. I think also this one, really great quality, really good, but I don't gravitate towards it because when it comes to red, I love reds. I love to wear reds on my eyes, I love the color, but I don't usually wear it that often, so that's because I don't really grab this one that often. And when I want to wear reds, I often go to my Pat McGrath stuff to get a red here and there. So yeah, this one gets a little bit behind, and it's really sad. I want to use it more. That's because I used this one also today for my eye look, that I can get a little bit use out of it and see why I ranked this one so low. But in the end, it's really just because I don't reach that often for it. Otherwise, it's a great quality palette. I love the colors. They are not that glittery, shiny colors that you maybe want, but they are so pigmented and beautiful nonetheless. I love them, and it's really a pleasure to play with them, and I have every time fun with it, but I don't use it that often, so that's because it's on the 15th place. Okay, to be honest, this one I'm a little bit nervous to hold up right now, because I know some will come for me, and again, it has nothing to do with the quality. But at the end of the day, I really focused on what was my preference this year, what I really grabbed for, what I gravitated towards, and what not so. So this is because this one is on place, is it? 14, on place 14. Okay guys, it's the Giant Rose palette with Odins Eye and Annette. Again, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful palette, but what's bothered me a little bit is the color Hati, or Hati, I don't know how you call this right. It's this lilac-y one right here, this shimmery one. It's really, really hard pressed, and this is the shade I love the most out of them all, to be honest. And I really need to dig. That's because it has such a dip in it. I really didn't use this one that often. The same it's with Eternal, but this one is really soft. But there are getting really fast dips in it, so I don't know how fast you will reach the bottom of the shades, to be honest. But this one is really hard pressed, and I had a hard time to get the pigment out of it, and that's because it's ranked a little bit lower also. It's really bothering me. It's not really bothering me when it's a shade that I don't really use that often anyway, but if it's a shade I really want to use often and I'm excited for, and this is the shade that's a little bit problematic at the end, then I'm really a little bit, yeah, offended. But nonetheless, it's a beautiful palette. I need to play more with it, to be honest, but somehow I don't gravitate towards it. But if this is your color story and you like such colors, it's such great quality from Odins Eye. I can assure you, you will be happy with this palette. Yeah, but I also thought this one will be my color story, and in one way it is, but I don't know, I'm in the moment not that excited about it, and I never want to reach for it, so that's because it's on the 14th place. But otherwise, if I would gravitate more towards it and I would have used this one a little bit more than I do, it would be for sure ranked much higher than the 14th place. But that reason really plays a big role in my rankings, so therefore it's on the place 14. So on the 13th place it's my KVD Vegan Beauty Edge of Reality palette, and I made a whole video out of it and told you guys the pros and the cons of this one, and I like it. It's not like that. I think it's a really beautiful palette. It's creasing a little bit fast on me, to be honest. That's something that's bothered me a little bit, but it's okay, you can blow it out and everything is fine after that. But what's bothering me a little bit more than that, it's that I don't really feel the need to play much with this palette. This palette is really a 2, maybe 3 eyeshadow look, and that's all. I just want to use 2 to 3 colors and be done with the look, because at the end of the day I have the feeling it's not paying off to use more than 2 or 3 colors on your eyes, because they will all smooch together and look like one big color. So that's the reason this one is on the 13th place. But other than that, I think it's a really beautiful and good looking palette. I have no complaints. The mattes are blending fine, the shimmers are looking good and day-to-day appropriated. And I also, you wouldn't think that, I also feel sometimes that I really want to use this one, and I really feel the edge to grab this one and put it on my eyes, even though it's a fast and quick palette. But this is also sometimes not that bad, if you know what I mean. It's sometimes good to have a reliable palette where you know 1 or 2 colors are working perfectly fine on your lid and you are done with your look. So in that case, I think it's a good and beautiful palette, and I have nothing against it. And that's, yeah, a quality I also really appreciate from time to time to have in my collection. Okay, number 12. This is one of the palettes I didn't even know I purchased this year. I thought it was last year, to be honest. This and the last year, it's going so fast and quick, I even don't know where we are right now, to be honest. But it's the McGrath Celestial Divinity palette. It's this one. It's a really beautiful spring-like palette, and I think I also got this one around spring time, and I really enjoyed this one. I played very often with it, and I like the ethereal and really blown out and light feeling you have with this one. But it's, yeah, not really exciting palette for me when it comes to McGrath. I really like this one, don't get me wrong. I think it's beautiful and I have so much fun to play with it, even though it's a really basic, not that glittery palette. But yeah, when I think about McGrath, I really want a little bit more, a little bit shinier, a little bit glitterier stuff on my eyes, and this is not giving me that. So this is because this one is a little bit ranked lower, but other than that, I really like this. I have a little bit the feeling that this one, it's getting a little bit dry over time, and I even don't have this one that long, so this is a little bummer, to be honest. But it's working perfectly fine right now. I hope it's will continually working perfectly fine. But other than that, I really like it. I used this one in conjunction with my gold palette the other day. Okay, to be honest, the most part of the look was my gold palette, but I sprinkled also a little bit this lavender shade on top of everything, and this one was taking the look also to another level. This one was really beautiful with this look together. I really like to use my quads in the moment in conjunction with other palettes, to be honest. I really like them to be, even though I don't use companion palettes, this is the only time I like to use companion palettes, and this is when my quads are coming handy. So this is the time I really like to use my quads in conjunction with other big palettes I use at the day. I have nothing negative to say about it, and it have ranked to be somewhere, so it's the 12th place. But at the end of the day, it's just because I really like her special formula a little bit more. I like McGrath glitzy and shiny shades the most, and this one isn't giving me that much of it, so that's the reason why. But other than that, I think it's a beautiful and really nice palette. Number 11, it's also a Colourpop palette, and it's the Hocus Pocus Gather Around Sister palette. I really like this one. I think the colors are beautiful, and this is also one of the 3 palettes I wear on my eyes today. I basically have it all over my eyes, on my lid and on my lower lash line. And yeah, I really like this one. I wear this greenish shade named Jabos, Bewitched at the outer corner, and on Toast basically spread all over my crease. So this is everything I have on, and also a little bit of It's Firm, this reddish one, also at my lower lash line in combination with the red from the Cherry Crush palette. So yeah, I really like this palette. It's getting not enough love, to be honest, because from my day-to-day life I really gravitate more towards my little bit higher priced palettes, because I feel the need to give them the most love because I paid the most for them and because I think they are also higher quality at the end of the day. But either way, I really like to use this one as well, and I have so much fun with it, and I really like the color story. I love the browns in here. I love this toasty, yummy browns. I like to play the most with such brown tones. And yeah, I can't say any negative about it. I really like it. It's a little bit lower because I don't use it that often, like I told you, but when I use it, like today, I really know why I bought this one, and there's no regret in it. I really like it, and I will continue using this one. Maybe I will combine this one more with my higher end quad palettes. Recently I really like to do that, to know I got use out of my Colourpop palette, but also of my higher end palettes. But we will come to this in a moment. Maybe a little bit later I will told you how I like to use them in combination with each other. But yeah, this is something I discovered recently for me, to have the feeling I use really everything I have in my collection. So we are at my top 10s, and at number 10 is my Melt Smoke Sessions palette. It's this one, and I think it's a beautiful palette. I really like that you have good ratios of greens and golds, and I love these dirty green and brown tone that they choose for the mattes. I think all in all it's a great palette, and every time I have done a look with it, I really loved it. I thought it's beautiful and fun, and I love to combine gold with almost every color, to be honest. I think it's such a versatile color, gold, but yeah, all in all I really like it. I'm not using this color story that often, to be honest, because I'm not that big on greens, and when I'm using greens I'm like more the really toned down greens, almost that it's more like a gold green than a green, if you know what I mean. So this is what I'm gravitating more towards. That's because this ranked a little bit lower on the 10th place. But other than that, I think it's a beautiful palette. The shimmers are beautiful, the greens are beautiful, and every time I have done a look with it, I was really blown away by its quality. So all in all, I really like it. So at number 9 is my Huda Beauty Wild Obsessions Chameleon palette. It's this one. Oh, I'm blinding you, sorry. Too excited. It's this one. I think it's really beautiful. I really like these tones. Do I have such tones over and over again? Yes, maybe I do. But other than that, I really had fun to use this one, and I really use this one very frequently. So I think it's a beautiful and fun palette. This one I have to feel this lilac-y shade. It's drying a little bit, and that's really fast. I don't have this one for that long. But I think it's working perfectly fine right now. So that aside, I think it's a fun, beautiful and colorful, warm palette. I love warm neutrals. I love to play with them on my eyes. So I knew I wanted to rank this one a little bit higher than maybe my Smoke Sessions palette, because I really like such tones, and I was really impressed by the quality that Huda Beauty gave me there with her smaller version palettes, and I really had fun with this. Number 8, also a palette. I was surprised that I bought this one at 2021 and not at 2020, so I really don't have track anymore, to be honest, but it's from Odins Eye, the Freya palette. I wouldn't thought that I would like this one that much, but I really love this one. I got this one in a mystery box that they sold a while ago, and I knew I would get this one, and I didn't want that one. I really prayed that I wouldn't get this one, but at the end of the day I got this one. And nowadays I'm really not mad about it. I'm really happy I got this one, and I think they discontinued it, sadly, because I think it's a really beautiful palette. Of course, nowadays maybe their shadows are more glittery, more special, more wow, but nonetheless I think this is a really beautiful, special and glittery palette nonetheless. I love this shade right here, Rune, I think you call it. It's this one. This is a duochrome, and if you put this one on your eyes, it's such a beautiful and glitzy and shiny effect that this shade will give your eyes. And I also love the reds right here. I love, this is my only true orangey, rusty orangey that I have, and I really appreciate this one so much. So all in all, every time I use this one, I really know why I love this one. And I'm happy I got it at the end, because I would have missed out on something, I'm sure. And I really love it, and that's because it's ranked where it's ranked, and I'm happy I have it now. So at number 7 is again a melt palette, and it's the Mary Jane. And this is the inside. I really love this. I think it's a beautiful, stunning, cool tone palette. You need to work a little bit more with the shimmers, because some of them, especially this one, the Sweet Lucy one, and Kali, those 3 shimmers are really crumbly and you have to use glitter glue for sure. But once you have it on your eyes, man, your eyes look stunning. Your eyes will look so stunning and beautiful, and bam. I really love this one for that reason. And Bamba, Santa Maria and Boo, these are more the shades that you really can use your finger with, put on your whole eyelid and everything will be fine. These are more your standard metallic shades that you know. So yeah, and the mattes I really love. I love these cooler toned browns. I really have fun with this palette. I don't gravitate that often towards cooler grayish brown tones, but when I'm doing and I'm using this one, I really love it. And I know some people didn't like this one, but I really enjoyed my time with this one, and I will continually enjoying my time with this one. So yeah, I'm really happy I bought it. I'm really happy I took the punch and got this one for me and overheard the negativity about this palette, because at the end of the day I know I like the melt formula and I have nothing against it, so I knew I would love this one, and I'm happy that I listened to my own gut feelings. So this is a beautiful and nice palette, and it will get for sure some more love in 2022 as well. So one pinch higher at number 6 is also a melt palette, and it's my Millennial Pinks palette. It's this one. I know there are also some controversies about this palette. Some people like it, some people hate it. I like it. I really like this one. I like the tones. I like especially Ruby Star. I love such dirty, yeah, rosy, rusty tones. I'm really in love with such tones, and this is for sure my favorite tone out of here, my favorite color. But all in all, I really like to wear pinks. I like that there's also a deeper option, and Melt is really the brand where I really get excited for deeper, yeah, matte tones. And normally I'm all about the shimmers. I love shimmers, but with this one I really enjoy to also use the black and the blue tone and the gray tone, and I really get every time excited to play with darker tones. This is the reason that I really appreciate the Melt formula and the brand as a whole. So yeah, I really like this one, and I'm really in love with the color story. So guys, we come now to our top 5 palettes, and my mouth is really... I have the feeling right now I can't talk anymore, and that's not good for our last 5 palettes, but I will try my best here, okay, so bear with me. And at number 5 is my Star Wars The Child palette from Colourpop. You are surprised? I tell you, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised this is my top 5, because it really beaten out some of my high-end palettes, and for a good reason, to be honest. I love this palette, and I have so much fun to play with greens with this palette. These are really my kind of greens that I like to use when I use greens on my eyes, and even though if I don't want to do green eyes, I just have to cover up this 4 shades right here and I can do a beautiful neutral and also fun look with it. So I'm really happy I got this one. I love this palette so much and I'm not mad that I bought it. It took me a long time to take the punch and got this one for me. I thought really a long time for it, and every time I saw it on someone else, on YouTube, on other people, and they ranked so high about it and praised this palette to the highest, I really wanted this one so much for such a long time. And one day when Colourpop had their sale, like every other month they have, but on that day I really felt the urge to get this one for me, and I'm glad I did because this gold is something else. The green tones are really pairing well with my blue grayish eyes, and I love everything about this palette. I love the looks I came out with this palette. I love to use this one in conjunction with my other palettes, and yeah, I have really nothing negative to say about it. Also, it's really cute packaging. I love the packaging so much. I'm in love with this and with this little guy right here. The newer one I wasn't that intrigued by, to be honest. It wasn't my cup of tea. I think I have so many tones like that, and I know I wouldn't get that much use out of it, so I'm really happy to stick just with this little guy right here, and I know I will have this one for a long time because I love the colors so much. Number 4 is something I wouldn't thought about to put that high, but over time I really learned to love this palette so much, and I have so much fun to use this one, and it's my Tom Ford Lava Luster palette. It's the first Tom Ford palette I ever bought, and I don't plan to buy any more Tom Ford stuff at the moment, to be honest. Maybe I will someday, but right now I'm really set with this palette. And at first I played with this guy. I wasn't sure what I think about it, to be honest. I stand by my fact that it's not that great as Pat McGrath eyeshadows, and I won't change that whatsoever. But I love to use this one so much in combination with my other palettes. This is also one of the 3 palettes. Now you have all 3 things that I have on my eyes. Also one of the 3 palettes I have on my eyes. I basically spread this color right here all over my lid to give it this really beautiful glittery effect and this really beautiful wow moment in the end. So this makes everything so much more special, and this gold I have a little bit spread at the inner corner of my eyes, and also this one a little bit nearby my tear dot at my lower lash line. I love this one. I love to use this one. This is really something I found out recently for me personally, that I love to use my little quads, especially this one, because this is the glitteriest and more neutral quad that I have, other than my Nocturnal Nirvana quad from Pat McGrath, but this one is really more colorful, and I have to be in a certain mood or want to do certain looks to gravitate towards this one. But I love it. It's so beautiful, and it's really up there in my... When I would rank every palette I have, it would be really high up. But this is really the first quad that's so neutral but also so glittery that I have, and I really love to use this one, maybe with my Star Wars I will use someday together. I love to sprinkle just 1 or 2. Okay, now there are 3 colors on my eyes, but I need to play, guys. So maybe 1 or 2 shades to really sprinkle all over the lid to make it even more special and feel that my look is complete. And therefore I really appreciate this palette right now. I really love it. I can use it, like I told you, maybe with my Star Wars, maybe with my Chameleon palette from Huda to make it more special, even with my Smoke Session palette, really with every palette I have. And I have then the feeling, today I used it in combination with my Hocus Pocus palette, and it's a match made in heaven, to be honest. I really love to do that recently, because I have then the feeling that I used my not so luxury with my luxury makeup together, and I really yeah, get the use out of everything I have. And this is something, this palette was leading me into this. So this is because I really love this one, and this one is ranked so high. It really opens up my eyes what I can do to get use out of more than just one palette or something like that. But to be honest, when it comes to Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona or something like that, I'm mostly just fine to use them as a standalone palette because they are so beautiful on their own. But when it comes to something like that, I really like to take this one and make something even more special with it. I recently also used this one together with my Millennial Pinks palette, and it made the dusty rosy tone that I love so much even more beautiful and glittery and shiny. And this was the day I really fell in love with this palette as well. So yeah, I really love this palette right now, and I have so much fun to use this one together with other palettes. And this is really something the palette taught me, that I can do that and be also happy with the look at the end of the day. And I think therefore it's a reasonable 4th place. Number 3 is a palette I bought at the beginning of the year almost, and it's my Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. It's the second Natasha Denona palette I have. I have this one and the gold palette, and that's all I have from her, but I really love this one. These colors are right up my alley. I love pinks, I love dusty tones like these ones, I love glittery shade, and it's also giving me that. I really like this one. I had so much fun to play with this one all year round, and I like that it's so pink and right up my alley, but at the same time it's so sophisticated and so beautiful and yeah, grown up looking. I'm really happy I bought this. This was really the first Natasha Denona mini palette that I wanted to have right away, and I didn't even thought about it. It came out, and at the launch day I immediately bought it and placed my order. So if I'm doing something like that, I really know that I love this one and I want this one. And I also made a good dip in the whitish inner corner shade right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little dip that's going on in here, and this is something that shows me that I really liked and used this one in this whole year. So I'm really happy I got it, and I'm loving this one so much, so it's deserving its 3rd place. So at place number 2 is my Mothership Celestial Odyssey Mega Palette from Pat McGrath. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. I love this one. I love this one so much, and the colors are stunning. I have so much fun playing with this. To be honest, I made up my mind a little bit more, and I think I really love the other one teensy tiny bit more than this one, because the other one really stole my heart last year. This one get me all the feels because it's so colorful and bright, and I really want to create some fun looks with it. But this one I really enjoy to use for an everyday, and also for really sophisticated and really beautiful, blown out and special looks, and I really love it. Especially these 2 glittery shades are out of this world, guys. I love these 2 so much. I did already a video with this one where I showcased it to you, and this one wasn't in my favorite colors that I showed you, but now it is. This one is my favorite color for sure, hands down. I love this one so much. It's so glittery, so beautiful, so shiny. It transforms your whole look in something else. I love to just use this one, pat it all over my lid, and have this beautiful glittery dimensional effect on my eyes. There are so many glitters in here: pink, violet, brown, gold, so many glitters. I love this one so much. And yeah, I really love this palette all in all very much. I created until now so many looks with it, so many beautiful looks, so many looks that I love. There wasn't one look, to be honest, that I have done with this palette that I didn't love at the end, so it was worth it 100% for me, and I will continually using this one so much, and I'm hoping that I will use some colors maybe up one day, because I like to see that I used my palettes that I have, especially my little bit higher end palettes, and that I love so much. So I really like this one, and it deserves its 2nd place for sure. So guys, we come to my number 1, And there's a sneak peek right here. You can see it at my background. I can't hide it. So this is really the only palette that could have beat potentially out this one. No other palette could at that point, but this one for sure can do this because it's a big mothership palette I wanted for so long and I wished for Christmas, and I got it. I also did a video. It's not loaded up yet. I have to work on it a little bit more, but I will for sure give you my whole experience and thoughts and feelings towards this palette. In that video I will load up, I promise you, but this says all, I think. That this one is at my first place, my Divine Rose 2 palette from McGrath. I love every tone in here, I love every color in here. I played already with every color in here, and I know I will use this one like crazy, and this will be my everyday go-to palette, even though it's a little bit brighter, a little bit colorful, but you also can do really beautiful everyday looks just with this 5 colors right here. You can also sprinkle a little bit something else in it with this 4 colors right here, especially this one. I'm so in love with this whitish color that has no pigment in it but are the glitteriest glitter toppers of all time. So yeah, all in all, also to be honest, this trichrome right here, or triochrome, I also use on a daily basis, and I done some beautiful looks with it. I can't say any negative about it. I really love this palette. I'm really in love with it. I'm so happy I got it. Maybe I will get another big mothership, but I really wanted, when I will get another one, I really want that it's really something else than this, so that I have the feeling it's worth it, because this is now a pinky palette, so right up my alley. But when I will get another one, I really want one that it's the opposite of this one, so that I have the feeling that it's worth it at the end of the day. But yeah, this is really my number one, guys. I can't say more. I have so many beautiful looks that I have created with this one. Also my newest video where I will talk a little bit more about it and will go more in depth about it, why I wanted this one over the other ones, why I like it so much, which colors I like the most. I really did a beautiful look also in that video, so stay tuned for it. And yeah, we are done. We are done with ranking all my palettes that I got at 2021. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I didn't thought that I bought that many palettes, to be honest, but I did. Apparently I did, so it's okay. I will better myself at, this is really my goal, to better myself at 2022. I want to buy less palettes, have fun with the palettes that I have. I know I will get some palettes at my birthday, but this is another story. I think birthdays and something like that, it's always the time where it's okay to have some wishes, and yeah. But other than that, I think I will lower myself a little bit in my purchases, because I really want to use the palettes that I have. And this video also shows me that I have so many beautiful palettes that I really want to use continually, and I don't like the feeling to use bad that I can't use some palettes because of the size of my collection. So this is something I really want to work on, but right now I'm really happy with the things that I have and with the things I will receive in the near future for my birthday. But other than that, I really want to have fun with the palettes that I already have in my collection and that are existing. So yeah, this is one of my 2022 goals. Maybe you have some goals in 2022 around your makeup collection. If so, then I would be really happy to know about them. Maybe you can also inspire me a little bit to, yeah, go in a certain direction with my makeup goals that I have. For sure, I also have some other goals, but these aside, I really have some makeup goals that I want to achieve and that I want really to work on in 2022. So yeah, I would say let's be strong in 2022, or maybe you want to extend your makeup collection a little bit and want to buy certain things that you saw and now want to have. If it's like that, then also tell me about that. I really want to hear that. And I would say, guys, we will see each other in my next video. I'm so hyped about it. Bye.